So we look down at a rather empty dummy grid. Now, there's a reason why it's rather empty. That's because it's time for the Federation Cup. So 22 drivers qualify for the Federation Cup. In DRS62, there was an entry of 29, so there should be 7 drivers in this race. However, we have had 2 drivers that I think have got damaged carts that are damaged and that will not be able to go out and race. So we're down to 5. So 5 DRS62 drivers will compete for the Federation Cup. It does mean that, there's a trophy. There's we said that the genesis for the Federation Cup goes back to the 1980s and early 1990s with the World Karting Championship, and what they used to have, they had for drivers that hadn't made the main event, instead of having a repechage or a B final or anything like that, they called it La Coupe de la Fédération. La Coupe de la Fédération, because they were French, and it was always in France for some reason. So the drivers that hadn't made the main event didn't compete in a B final or anything like that. They competed in the Coupe de la Fédération. So, of course, Andy Cox has decided to reinvent that here, the Daniel Ricciardo series. Now, normally with a repechage or a B final, there would be the top 4 finishers would go through to the main event. That's not happening. There are 22 places in the Grand Prix. All 22 places have been filled. This is a separate standalone event. There's a trophy for it. And whereas normally the only reward you get for winning a repechage or a B final is a place at the back of the grid for the main event, this is an event in itself. So we have 5 drivers lining up. There should be 7, but I said earlier that 2, I think, have had to sadly call it a day. Pole position will be number 118, Oliver Harrison. Alongside Oliver on the front row of the grid will be number 120, Daniel Weir. Number 122, Adam Bourne, will start 3rd. Number 109, Ruben Edwards, will start 4th. And number 107, Ollie Morrish, will start 5th. So I don't know who has had to sadly withdraw and who will not be competing in either the Federation Cup or the Grand Prix itself. But for the 5 drivers, they have 10 minutes. And again, a lot of these drivers, I think Daniel Weir, the last time out at Shennington, he was part of the DRS Academy series, which is like a race school for new drivers, which you can go to the Daniel Ricciardo series website, Facebook page, to get the details of which, and then they can sign you up for that, because it is, it is a junior race school. Teach you how to drive these particular karts, see how to race properly. Daniel Weir did the race school Saturday morning at Shennington, and was thought, do you know what? I might just sign up and do the Shennington round, which you can do. And then, of course, Daniel Weir found that he was quick enough. He made the 110% rule in terms of pace in practice, so he was fast enough to join, because, of course, they don't just let anyone race. You have to be fast enough, and Daniel Weir did that, and now he's racing here again, and now he finds himself in the Coupe de Fédération. So all these young drivers, of the 29 drivers that are here in DRS62, let's think, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, there are 19 drivers who are classed as rookies. So 19 drivers in this field, or in this class, the DRS62 class. It is their first year in this championship, and for lots of them, in fact nearly all of them, it's their first year in competitive karting, full stop. Now, the idea is of course, that they will stay in the championship and they will continue to move through the championship. And in a couple of years' time, they'll be entering the juniors when they're far more experienced, and that will help to grow their own. Oh, we've got another, here we go, 6 drivers, so somebody else has made it out. There's driver legging it across the pits. Quick, don't leave it behind. They've managed to fix the kart get us out there now. Let's have a little glance. And that is the number 92, Ewan Scott. Ewan, one of our youngest drivers, so that makes half a dozen. And again, it'll be really good for these drivers because, of course, Alpha Live, they do a great job of not just filming the leaders, they do tell the story of the race to the rest of the field. However, some of these drivers, this is their chance to shine. The stage is theirs. You can see Ewan Scott just getting rib protector, helmet. You can see how young these drivers are. Some of them are just, you know, just 8 years old. And to be fair to Ewan, the biggest thing on him is his crash helmet. Looks like one of those bobbleheads that, you know, sit in your car window shield because he's got a tiny little body because he's only so little, but then the crash helmet, obviously. So we've got number 118. Pole position, that will be Oliver Harrison. 120, Daniel Weir on the outside. Looking at Oliver's kart there. Oliver Harrison's kart sitting on the dummy grid. Now, some of these drivers will have come out of the Bambino Racing, others through the Daniel Ricciardo Academy. So there we go. The points, of course, he was scoring points in the 3 heats. And obviously, everyone who scored 135 points or above made it into the Grand Prix. So Oliver Harrison, 134 points. The 16 in brackets signifies that that was his best heat finish. So it was a tiebreaker between Oliver Harrison and Daniel Weir. But Daniel Weir's best finish was a 21st place. And Oliver Harrison, his best finish was a 16th. So that was the tiebreaker. Ruben Edwards and Adam Bourne will start on row 3. Ollie Morrish and Ewan Scott will start, sorry, Adam Bourne, Ruben Edwards on row 2. Ollie Morrish and Ewan Scott will start on row number 3. So this race and the DRS100 Federation Cup that will follow this race, they will both be 10 minutes plus 1 lap. And of course, and I don't know the ins and outs of each of these drivers' karting careers to date, I will confess, but I wonder how many of them have won a race before. Certainly since leaving Bambino's or becoming a DRS62 driver, how many of them have actually won a race? So we're going to find out. Next 10 minutes plus a lap. Ollie Morrish, well, at the opening round of the season at Clay Pigeon, Ollie Morrish he was 3rd in the Federation Cup that day. So this is the 2nd time this year that we have had a Federation Cup in DRS62. 6 drivers, 10 minutes. Oliver Harrison on pole. Now, of course, all year, the drivers, the rookie drivers, with black plates and white numbers, they've had to start at the back. So this will be new territory, having to start the race from the front, controlling the speed. And then we'll go around and do a second rolling lap. There's Oliver Harrison moving through into lead position. So here we go, around Ashby's. Hopefully next time around, there's the official for the signal. Now he's not just waving his arms because he's doing his like Orville impression, you know, I wish I could fly right up to the sky. No, he's not doing that. He's not having some sort of fit. He hasn't been stung by a wasp. He's just saying, right, now calm it down, boys, calm it down. It's nice and slow. to the boot. Round Pitts Bend, into the tram lines. Didn't look like the tidiest of starts, but, and it wasn't, because the false start flags have come out. And I suppose there'll be an element, you can forgive them for that. That's their first attempt, but no, this is where they need to calm down. So they've all seen the false start flags. And they're gonna go around again. Well, they're getting back into formation. So we'll head, red flag out. So I think Matt Daniels is probably thinking, okay, here we go. Let's cut to the chase. They've had one go at it. Now we'll instruct them otherwise. We'll instruct them how to do it properly. And yeah, it always helps if they're in the right order. What's Ollie Morris doing? He goes, well, I'm only little, I don't know. That's your excuse. So now we're going to put them in the correct order. Have a brief chat. Just, again, gentle reminder, this is what we need from you. You need to stay in your position, stay in your formation. When you come round the boot, you'll see an official waving his arm at you. That's the line that you can start picking up the pace. Not before. And when you come on to the start-finish straight, stay in your tram line, stay in an order. So it was a little bit quick. Now we're going to go again. So here we go. So we're going to go around again. There's the hand signal. They're not practicing the Queen's Wave or anything like that. That's the hand signalling karting to signal that, yep, we're going around another lap, to signal to the drivers behind you that, yeah, you're not going to be picking up the pace, they don't smash into you. Try again. Now they're in there, 3 rows of 2, or 2 rows of 3, whichever way you look at it. Yes, yellow flag waving. There's Matt Daniels saying, right, slow down, slow down. Another gentleman coming out of the boot this time, just in front of post J. There he is. Slow down, slow down, slow down. Not really taking much notice. And let's see. Not sure about that one. Let's have a look. They're coming up towards Christmas corner. Are the false start flags out, or are we racing? It was a bit of a quick start. Well, there's a move there. Well, we seem to be off and running. I know that was the probably the least dramatic commentary to the start of a race in the history of broadcasting. I think maybe the thought process was that, well, if we don't let them go, we'll be here till Christmas. We got Christmas corner, but they're off. Daniel Weir, orange crash helmet, has the lead of the race. He made the move on the opening lap, past poleman Ollie Harrison. Ruben Edwards is 3rd, and Ollie Morris there making a move to the inside at Christmas corner into 4th place. Ruben Edwards very kindly gives him plenty of racing room. So we're off and running. So there we have Ollie Morris is now 3rd, Edwards is 4th, Adam Bourne is 5th, Ewan Scott is 6th. And we head down the hill now. So here is the battle for third place. Now Ollie Morris trying to close in on the two leaders. There's Ruben Edwards in car number 109. Let's see, moving around in his cart quite a bit. Comes out now. Ooh, that's top two are clear, then third, fourth and fifth. And Ewan Scott, pint-sized Ewan Scott, down in seventh. And you can see Ruben Edwards is moving his head round in the cart. Now, in his inexperience, he might think that is helping, but have a look at the more experienced drivers. They're far more stationary in the cart, but that may be just his driving style. Here's your leader, Daniel Weir, on lap number 3 now, coming through Parker's. Oliver Harrison is 8/10 of a second behind him, so still within striking distance. Into the boot. Now this is what you don't see often on our coverage, is the fact that the battles for 18th, 19th and 20th positions are just as fierce as the battles for the race lead. These are the drivers that tend to be battling over 18th, 19th and 20th positions, and now we get to see and concentrate on them for the entire race distance. So Harrison is sitting, he's closing in a little bit on Daniel Weir. He's got a good little slipstream on Weir going up the hill towards Christmas Corner. And he now heads down towards Ashby's. Behind him, Morris is third, Edwards fourth, Bourne fifth, Ewan Scott in sixth. There's number 107 car of Ollie Morris. See, just 8 years old from Wokingham. He assisted me on commentary duties for the mums, dads and hangers-on race last night. So he can talk a good game. Now he's going to put in a good game. There's the fourth place now has come Adam Bourne. And then it's a very distinctive leaning driving style of Ruben Edwards in fifth. So watching Ruben Edwards drive, it's like that scene. It's like that scene in Cool Runnings where they're all in the bathtub visualising the circuit and the bobsled run. Just leaning back side to side. But Ruben Edwards has definitely got that lean nailed down to a T. There's the background there, Ewan Scott going through, but there's the number 122 car race. In fourth place, Adam Bourne. All on his own, so of course it's tricky now because he's just got to focus on the clear track in front of him. He hasn't got anyone to slipstream or draft with. He hasn't got somebody as a target. There goes Ollie Morris. Ollie Morris is 2.3 seconds behind the leader. And here's Ruben Edwards running a little bit wide coming out of the boot, across the line. There we go, there's the lean. Ruben Edwards through Crook and up past Fine Lady. And now into Vivian, into Christmas Corner rather, through Inkermans. Down towards Ashby's. Behind Edwards. Ewan Scott has fallen a little bit back. Now the lap times really around. There's that nice lean again. Oh, it's almost statuesque. He runs a little bit wide, and what he will learn over time is that affects his ability to pinpoint the apex of each corner. So the more stationary you are in a kart, the more planted you are in your seat, you're actually being able to focus on each corner a little bit better. And when you're sort of leaning, of course, it affects your vision leans as well as your head. There's Ewan Scott, kart number 92, crossing the line. Daniel Weir up at the front of the field is starting to pull away now from Oliver Harrison. Harrison, though, is coming under pressure from Ollie Morris. So there's Ewan Scott. Again, he's just one of the youngest drivers in the pack, and he was, because when Daniel Ricciardo was here yesterday, and we were doing a Q&A with Daniel on the podium, he did say that anyone who was in their first ever race could ask Daniel a question, and that was Ewan. So he could ask Daniel how old he was when he started racing, and Daniel said he was 9, and then he asked Ewan how old he was, and Ewan had to think about it. We got a change for second there. Ollie Morris, meanwhile, we'll come back to that story in a minute. Ollie Morris in cart number 107 passes Oliver Harrison for second. So, caught past Harrison. Now, we're on lap number 8, 3.5 minutes plus a lap to go. The gap between Daniel Weir and Ollie Morris in second place stands at 2.1 seconds. Can he close in? But going back to the story about young Ewan Scott, he asked Daniel Ricciardo how old he was when he started karting, and Daniel was like 9. I was 9 years old. And then Daniel asked him how old Ewan was, and he had to think about it for a moment, but he decided on 7. So he's 7 years old, so that is young. So Ewan Scott, again, even though he's not on the pace of these guys, the top 4, we've actually got the top 4 now quite close together, because number 122, Adam Bourne, is closing in. So Daniel Weir's lead is coming down. The top 4 all in the same camera shot as they headed towards Christmas Corner. Adam Bourne closing in on Oliver Harrison. So Harrison, the pole man, has slipped back to 3rd, and again, fatigue will set in. This track is very, very physically demanding indeed. And of course, these drivers, they are inexperienced, and they're still learning how to put together 8, 9, 10 laps that are the same. You know, their lap times vary more and more because, you know, they can do a quick lap here, then they miss an apex, they make a mistake, and then they do another quick lap, then they make a mistake and miss an apex, and that's part of the learning process in karting that every driver goes through. And Harrison there, now falling back into the clutches of Adam Bourne. So Bourne in cart number 122 goes into oblivion, now through Crook. And will he try and have a little look going up the hill towards Christmas Corner? He's got a great slipstream, really good slipstream there. He tucks right in behind the number 118 cart of Harrison. Now he's going to try and crisscross over and maybe dive at the inside of Harrison going into Ashby's, but not close enough just yet. He's having a little look around the outside of Parker's. Chooses not to, but he is going to make a move sooner or later, you'd have to say. 1 minute to go. Danny Weir's lead is 2 seconds, so Ollie Morris has closed a little bit, but not by much. So Daniel Weir has the lead of the race. The best battle is for 3rd place. Harrison against Bourne. They're 10 seconds in front of Ruben Edwards, and another 15 or so seconds back to Ewan Scott. There's Ruben Edwards. So there's Ollie Morris just flashing out the camera shot. Here we go, 30 seconds to go. Up towards Christmas Corner. Now Bourne, again, he's got a very different line to Oliver Harrison through Inkermans. It does give him a little bit of extra momentum. Now Harrison runs a bit wide coming out of Ashby's. Bourne is right there. Now Bourne has got to maybe take a wide line into Chapman's. Get a good run onto the back straight. Can he make the move? So he's in 10 seconds to go. The leaders are going on to their penultimate lap. Danny Weir's lead down to 1.8 seconds, so Ollie Morris is closing, but not by much. So Weir has the advantage. This is the final lap. Down towards Ashby's. Weir in cart 120. So the driver that was only part of the DRS Academy just a few short weeks ago at Sherrington is now going to pick up his first race win in the DRS series. It's a Federation Cup win, but a win is a win. And it's a well-deserved win after taking the lead in the early stages. And there he comes. Oh, where's Ollie Morris gone? Checkered flag waves. Ollie Morris has stopped on the last lap. Here's the battle for second. And he goes through. It's Harrison, just fends off Bourne for second. And what happened to Ollie Morris? He must have had a mistake and gone off somewhere on the very last lap. He comes home in 4th place. Ruben Edwards will finish 5th. Ewan Scott will take 6th. But your Federation Cup winner in DRS62 is Daniel Weir, in just his second ever kart race. Well done to Daniel. That concludes the DRS62 Federation Cup. The next race out on track, 4:15, which is in 8 minutes' time, will be the Federation Cup for DRS 100.